Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing you a whole load of products, food, drink, household items that you might buy in a normal weekly supermarket shop, and they all have one thing in common. They have 20% VAT, that's value added tax, imposed on them by the government. Now, I speak to people and they don't seem to know that these items actually have VAT on them. And it's massive, massive money for the government. It brings in 170 billion a year VAT. And you've got to remember it's a tax on consumers. It's not a tax on businesses. It's a tax on you and me when we go shopping, the people who actually use the product, the people who eat it and drink it. 170 billion a year. Seriously big money. So I'm going to show you a few products now, well, loads of products. I'm going to actually practically cover the table. And every single thing I'm about to place on my table in this video has 20% VAT on it. And there will be some surprises along the way, because not only is the VAT system unfair, it just doesn't make sense, because the kind of ethos behind it is that it's charged on non-essential products. Well, you'll see. Judge for yourself whether these items are really non-essential. Now, we'll start with drinks. I'm not going to include alcohol in this because I think most people know, don't they, that alcohol has duty and then VAT on it. So we won't bother with that. So we've got fizzy drinks, Coke, Fanta. No great surprises there, maybe. Then we've got squash, cordial. This has VAT on it too, whatever you want to call it. And then it starts to get a bit weird. We've got, pure fruit juice. Pure fruit juice. Why does that have VAT on it? 100% orange juice. And you can even see here the one of your 5 a day logo. Now, this 5 a day thing is a government initiative. The government are actually endorsing this product. They're recommending it. So they're saying, yeah, go out and buy this. It's really healthy. Oh, and by the way, it's a luxury and you've got to pay a 20% tax on it at the same time. Does that make sense? And then, similar to pure fruit juice, we've got smoothies. Again, 100% fruit, pure fruit, strawberries, bananas and apples. If you squeeze them yourself, it's tax-free. But if someone else puts it in a bottle for you, 20% VAT. Then we've got, water. Yeah, bottled water. Fizzy water, still water, doesn't make any difference. It's all got VAT on it. Now, there might be an argument to say, okay, we shouldn't be drinking this kind of stuff because of single-use plastic. You can get it out of the tap. Yeah, you can. You can get it out of the tap. You can filter it yourself in one of those Brita filter things. But these have also got VAT on them. So, they've got every angle covered, haven't they? Just going back to the weird inconsistencies with VAT, the bags of ice cubes you buy from the freezer compartment in the supermarket? When I was doing my research into this, I found out that, bizarrely, ice cubes are tax-free, okay? So you can go out and buy your tax-free ice cubes, melt them, turn them into tax-free water. But if you buy actual water, you pay 20% tax on it. We move on to healthcare products, okay? So all vitamins, food supplements, multivitamins, cod liver oil, anything like that, they all have VAT on them. But this is the one that really winds me up. Toothbrushes and toothpaste. Why the hell have they got VAT on them? I mean, how can the government possibly say that these are non-essential or luxury items. I mean, you remember that, what was that guy's name, that Irish singer, Fairy Tale of New York? I've totally forgotten his name. I'll put his name up. They're basically saying, if you don't want to look like that, then, you're buying some kind of luxury, self-indulgent product. Absolutely ridiculous. These are essentials. They shouldn't have VAT on them. And then, similarly, painkillers like aspirin, paracetamol, ibuprofen. Why the hell are we paying a tax on pain relief? You're encouraged to buy these yourself to save the NHS money on prescription charges. You're encouraged to just buy these off the shelf and over the counter. Every healthcare product, every food supplement product like that, vitamins, whatever, basically anything you'd find in a typical Boots or Superdrug, all has 20% VAT on it. Absolutely ridiculous. How did this happen? And that includes children's medicines, by the way, like Calpol, creams, Savlon, anything like that you can think of, shaving products, 20% VAT on all of that. Which then brings me on to, you're going to like this one. Toilet roll. You pay 20% tax every time you go for a number 2. How is that a non-essential item? You pay it on baby wipes. Here's another one. Sun protection cream. Yeah, sun protection cream. So it's even recommended on there by Cancer Research UK. So, if you don't want your kids to get frazzled on the beach or get skin cancer, apparently this is a luxury product because it's classified by the government as a cosmetic. They put it in the same category as lipstick and eyeliner. Well, it's not a cosmetic product, is it? It's to protect you from skin cancer. 20% VAT. Basic things, shower gel, even if you go right back to very basics, a bar of soap, 20% VAT. Hand wash. Remember when the government used to encourage us to buy lots of that and use lots of it a few years ago? Yeah, remember washy hands? Yeah, well, they made a lot of money out of that, didn't they? Household cleaning products, this kind of thing, washing detergents, cloths, sponges, anything like that. Washing up liquid, apparently that's non-essential according to the government. Yeah. Tissues, whenever you want to blow your nose when you've got a cold, the government say that's non-essential. And then we've got things like kitchen foil, cling film, and your furry friends, I'm afraid, they haven't escaped the clutches of the taxman either. You might not be surprised to see all your pet food, dry, tinned, pouch, whatever, that's all pet food. That's cat food, dog food, rabbit food, fish food. They've even got wild bird food listed under the category of pet food. Wild birds, how are they pets? Anyway, for the snackers amongst us, I'm afraid nuts, they've got VAT on. Although strangely, if you buy unsalted nuts, the ones that you get in the fruit and veg section, they don't have VAT on them. So, you could buy those and add your own salt if you wanted. Sweets, that's probably unsurprising, isn't it? Walter the Worm, by the way, from Aldi, highly recommended. I'm a big sweets fan. Haribo, all your sweets, VAT. Chocolate, yeah, I'm afraid that wasn't going to be left out by the government, was it? Now, chocolate biscuits, this is a weird one. If they're coated in chocolate, they have VAT on them. But if they're cookies and the chunks of chocolate are inside the biscuit, then they're tax free, which is just, it's another one of those weird inconsistencies. Doesn't make any sense. The actual percentage of the chocolate is irrelevant. It's just if one or more sides of the chocolate bar, sorry, of the biscuit are covered in chocolate, yeah, you get clobbered with the 20% VAT. Yeah, chewing gum. What else have we got? This is a strange one. Cereal bars, things like, Kellogg's, Nutri-Grain, things like that. The government description of why they qualify for VAT and actual cereal doesn't qualify says it's because they can be eaten with the fingers. And then we've got ice cream, VAT, and things like this, ice lollies, cornetto type things, basically pretty much any frozen item that's sweet. Crisps, yeah. How could I forget crisps? Of course they've got VAT on them. Pringles, now that's a strange one. That went all the way to the Court of Appeal. The manufacturer and the taxman were in a legal battle over whether this should or shouldn't have VAT on it. In the end, the taxman won. No surprises there. But Pringles were trying to argue that these aren't really crisps because they're not sliced potato. They're just made from powdery stuff. But yeah, the upshot is they've also got VAT on them. So there we have my collection of products which bring in a hell of a lot of money for the government. Can you still see me under all that? Now, the issue really is consumer awareness. That's really the reason I'm doing this, because I think it's a sneaky tax that people just don't really know about. It doesn't actually tell you on the shelf of a product whether it's got tax on it or not. Now, if you've ever been to the USA, to a supermarket over there, you might have noticed that the price you see on the shelf is not the price you pay at the checkout. The sales tax, which is their version of VAT, is added on when you pay. So that focuses the mind on the fact that the government is taking a load of money. They're shafting you every time you go shopping. But in the UK, the government did something rather clever, a bit of a masterstroke. They passed a piece of legislation, which is quite obscure, no one's really heard of it, called what's it called? The Price Marking Order 2004. Now, what this does is it forces the retailer to include the VAT, to bake it into the price. So whenever the price is displayed on the shelf or on a TV advert or in a magazine, if it's for sale to consumers, it has to include VAT if applicable. So, you don't know you're paying it. It's a stealth tax. I hope you found that interesting anyway. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. I am new to this and it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you and hopefully see you on the next one.